Hi class, for this lab, we're going to take a look at the chi-square distribution and how it approximates a normal distribution. So please open up this link, and this link is going to take you to this spot here. Okay, so before we actually modify the code, let me talk a little bit about the chi-square distribution. So this is what the chi-square distribution looks like, and we technically use it to create confidence intervals, but it's going to be confidence intervals for the population, variance and standard deviation. So what you see here is different degrees of freedom and then basically the shape of it. One important fact is that it's technically not symmetrical. And let's take a look at the lab. So you're going to be submitting two pictures. One of them is with a total of 4 degrees of freedom. So you modify the degrees of freedom here. So please move this to 4. And that's what the chi-square distribution looks with 4 degrees of freedom, which is basically the typical sketch that we're going to be looking at. So that's going to be one of your pictures. Please don't worry about this portion here, the shaded region. We'll talk about that in another lab as we approximate probabilities or p-values. So your first picture is simply with 4 degrees of freedom. The second picture, what I need you to see is when you increase the degrees of freedom, your chi-square distribution appears to look bell-shapy. So you can actually see that with large degrees of freedom, your distribution is approximately bell-shaped. So there it is. At this point, basically take a second picture. And the main idea is that the chi-square distribution is a distribution that we use as we estimate confidence intervals for the population, standard deviation and variance. And also, I want you to notice one aspect of this one. Because of the formula, it's only on the first quadrant. So this one's never going to go into the negative side. It's never going to go into this portion. So chi-square distributions, we're looking at a curve that happens to be on the first quadrant. Larger degrees of freedom, basically you're going to see that your chi-square distribution, it's approximately bell-shaped. So that would be your second picture, and that's actually it for this lab.